Yay! Perfect-ish switch, regardless. Anyways, welcome, greetings, and whatnot else to everyone in the internet as we go on for yet another Saturday, I think it is. Yes, it is another Saturday for Space Waste News.
Huzzah.
All the news that's gonna be wasting your time with Pilot.
What's funny is that you said that's the perfect transition, and as you were counting it down, you go 3, 2, 1. It was counting down a sneeze I had coming. I'm like scrambling for the mute button. I'm like, oh god.
Well, there's always the Dracula sneeze, the elbow joint. That one.
Oh, I need a cape now.
blah, right? All right, then. Well, anyways, we got a couple of pieces of news articles to go over today. Nothing too great this week, so kind of a dry week. But anyways, there are some nice things. One spectacular thing, for which the title is for this stream already set, but we'll talk about it in just a bit. However, let's start with something. I don't know. Pilot, I give you a chance to choose.
Let's start with something stupid. Okay.
Yes.
So Fall Guys is a sex game now, and that's a thing. Someone, because the internet, be interneting, someone figured out how to hook up one of these internet live sex devices to the Fall Guys falling algorithm, I guess. I don't know. Whenever they fall down, it vibrates, basically. And don't Google it. Please don't. I saw it and I was like, wait, no, not really. And I thought, no, it's stupid. Nobody's really done this. And someone has, and there's a whole stream about it. And I sincerely regret actually looking at it because it is not a girl, by the way. It's not a girl doing it. Yeah, no.
I was about to say, do elaborate. And then it was,
Yeah, no, and I really do sincerely regret watching it, and I'm going, okay.
Well,
but yeah, no.
Now we know where Pilot spends his days on the internet these past couple of, actually this week, yes. So that's your accomplishment for the week. Oh God.
Oof.
All right then. So yeah. I was thinking that it was basically one of the knockoff games that, obviously sprawled from Fall Guys' reputation or the success, right? But no. Okay, then.
Yeah, no. Oh, nothing to add there? You've never rigged up a sex device to a video game with extensive amount of coding and a copious amount of free time?
Funny thing is, a free time for a content creator plus a streamer combo person
doesn't exist.
There's that, and the second of all, I haven't really had much time. I haven't even tried fucking VR porn, okay? And I had my fucking VR rig for fucking ages at this point, and just don't have the time. The funny thing is,
it seems like a lot of effort. Yeah.
No, the funny thing is, you're always hearing that that thing exists and whatnot else. For me, as a programmer, first of all, I know that, VR porn games are made by probably a small company. Let's be frank, okay? It's not a company that is a large one. So a small company being able to make a VR game that is, let's be frank, requiring a lot of jiggle physics and requiring quite a lot of precision, if you will. What are the chances that combination, small game, very precise stuff, and very adept technology being put in place and actually working?
I think you're missing the draw, the actual draw here, where you see boobs flying off in random directions.
I get it. It's just that from a programmer's perspective, from a technical aspect, I'm just wondering what could be broken within that thing that's supposed to be taken super seriously. Let's be frank. Probably.
I'll be honest. I don't want to go and put on like a full body suit and a huge head rig and like make sure everything in my house is locked down just to go watch porn. That's too much effort. Too much. It's easier just to Go
Violet, I
have
can
sex.
introduce you to this wonderful place in the world called Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it might be because I'm in my 30s, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm not that horny anymore. You know.
Oh, guys, right. So we're starting the stream right off the bat with the greatest stories, ladies and gents. It's absolutely perfect. I love it. All right then. Well, now that that crowd is finally here, let's I suppose move on to our next piece of content, or a news piece, I suppose. And those that are real-time strategy or turn-based strategy fans may have already known this for a little while, but Crusader Kings 3 has come out, developed by Paradox Interactive, and apparently it has some sex stuff as well. You can make your character, quite unique. Um, Basically, there have been plenty of also nudie pics and whatnot else floating around because of that. Yeah, I guess we
Oh,
can't just get away from the fucking sex stuff. At this point, fuck it, let's just embrace it. So yeah, there you go. If you want to be low key horny, I guess Crusader Kings is possible for you as well. On top of that.
those faces though. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, the character creation creator has been interesting in Crusader Kings. So there you go. But no, overall, apparently the game is pretty decent. I've yet to actually poke it and prod it. Personally, from all the strategy games that Paradox is releasing, for me, Stellaris still is the main one that I prefer. Closely followed by Hearts of Iron, mostly because I can play as fucking Latvia and probably invade Russia or something, because, that's, nationalistic nonsense that Latvians do, I guess. But yeah, there you go. That's. But no, seriously, though.
There are procedural sex scenes?
So what?
Are there seriously? This game shall be okay. Oh no. Okay, so it's not real. Someone just put out these things. Oh, procedural sex.
No.
Oh no.
Obviously, that would outconquer the mature content, quote unquote, quota from Cyberpunk 2077, right? I mean, at that point, once somebody outmatches them in that mature content, I think CD Projekt Red would come out with even more ridiculous claim for one of their things, dongles, ball sacks, whatever. You get the point. So yeah, right. Right. This was a segment for about Crusader Kings, right? So the game is finally out, and if I remember correctly, it was available on Steam. I'm not was it available? No, it is not available on Epic Store, or was it? Oh, for fuck's sakes. I know the Paradox has their own launcher at this point, so, well, there you go. You can go with that and load up another fucking thing, which is not enough already.
You know what else is losing exclusivity?
Oh my.
Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, apparently, is coming to Steam and ending its Epic Store exclusivity, which is nice. Yeah. I really like the original Rebel Galaxy.
I never played it. Never really liked third-person space shooty sort of games. It's just a big gunboat third-person shooting. It's no.
Actually, you know what? I have unique perspective here. Is that because of the series of games that I've been playing recently? I played Freelancer on stream yesterday, and I've been playing it for the last couple of days. I had never played it before. I realized Rebel Galaxy, the first one, is Freelancer with better graphics. It has all the same all the same basic mechanics, and it's kind of lacking in some ways, but pretty awesome in others. So you can run around, trade, fight. You get into random encounters. You can trigger little alliance points here and there, blah blah blah. But otherwise, the game is not terribly deep. It's exactly the same thing. It's Freelancer Rebel Galaxy is Freelancer with better graphics. and
but
capital ship.
but
Yeah.
but a freelancer, if I remember correctly, was in 3 dimensions, capable, moving and
Yeah.
floating and whatnot else. While
It
Rebel
wasn't good
Galaxy
at it, but
uh, had only like one plane. You couldn't go up and
yeah.
down, so it was basically just literally a sea ship fighting, but in space, which made much sense.
Yeah, yeah, I will give you that. Is that Freelancer actually did have a, the whole 3D, the whole,
Freedom of
three
movement. Yeah.
freedom of movement, 3 axes of movement, and Rebel Galaxy obviously did not. But I didn't really miss it. A and B, Freelancer. It's not like it does its 3 axis movement very well. I mean,
Okay.
it's 2003. It's better for what it is than at the time. It's very interesting, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not great either. Or I'm spoiled obviously by modern games,
Well,
but
obviously we all are. I mean, I'm
yeah,
to a point where I literally cannot play the original Elite at all. I'm to a point where I literally can't play any game that doesn't involve really archaic, sort of not very ergonomic key mapping. It's just
yeah.
so unbearable for myself. I wish I could, but I just every time I think of it, it's such a chore to unlearn and relearn, or just no. I know that something better exists, and the fact that, sure, it's a piece of history, but it's just fucking hell,
Oh,
no.
I mean, I love all those videos of like, oh, this is my first time playing this game. Let's jump in. I'm like, bullshit. If this was your first time playing this game, we'd be watching the first 2 hours of you setting up key bindings. No way.
Well, in Elite, the funny thing is, in Elite Dangerous, not necessarily. I still maintain that
Eh,
basic flight controls on the keyboard are sufficient enough. In fact, I haven't changed them myself, except for targeting and excess little utility things. So I personally still maintain that the original key mapping for Elite on keyboard was wonderful.
eh, I. It still took you a good hour or two to like really nail
Oh no!
everything down.
With any sort of flight or vehicle controlling game, and it's always a chore to relearn or learn how
Yeah.
actually physics work. Obviously, I mean, for fuck's sakes, no, it's just completely like driving a different car. Not even a car, driving a different type of a designed car, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, oh man, that came back to bite me in the ass so hard. I thought, yeah, year two of the YouTube channel, I'm gonna go and fly all these various different spaceships of different games and this and that and blah 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 blah. Did not account for having to learn a whole new game in order to become good enough at it that I could fly a ship inside of it. Oh, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
God.
sounds about right. Anyways, returning back to Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. So those of you that don't know the game, go buy it now because it's fucking good. But no, seriously though, Double Damage released the follow-up on their Rebel Galaxy. With the Rebel Galaxy Outlaws, truly wonderful, and honestly, I would say it's one of the more atmospheric games that I've played in the recent years. By atmospheric, I mean that the sounds, music, and everything essentially transports or creates a unique atmosphere, very rich atmosphere. While the gameplay in of itself is relatively simple, if you will. Sort of atmospheric games in general, I would. Best example, in my opinion, is Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl. So that is sort of that atmosphere, creating unique environment, perfecting, if you will. Not the greatest sort of gameplay, but still really good game with that unique style. So yeah, music-wise, yeah, as I said, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw is a wonderful fucking game. So yeah, it originally, yeah, they went with the Epic exclusive for a year, and now that year is over. Finally, they can publish on Steam. So if you were waiting for it, well, lo and behold, it will soon be out, and you can pick it up, and I do truly recommend picking it up, because fuck it, go watch my quote-unquote review on it that I made, and really, it truly puts to shame so many bigger games than it. Yes, gameplay is relatively simple or, well, quote unquote, shallow in comparison to the grand physics, whatever symmetry thing that Elite Dangerous has, or whatever the fuck Star Citizen attempts to make, right? Um, it's still, it does one thing and it does it really well. Additionally, adding something that I personally expect as a standalone fucking feature, as a paid fucking tool, and that's literally a fucking spaceship Photoshop. I shit you not. So yeah, big props to Double Damage. So yeah, go support that wonderful indie studio. They did wonderful work, and yeah, best of luck with the sales and all that stuff.
Another important distinction is the second game is a prequel to the first game. The first one is you're basically relegated to capital ships, and the second one that we're talking about now, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, you're relegated to fighter ships. But you do get your,
and also you're in first person sort of. So there you go.
Yeah.
Although no, wait, you were able to fly in the third person as well, right?
Yeah, but you are.
I never really used it. Yeah.
First.
So yeah, there you go. Oh, fun times, right? So I suppose on slightly other news, Dual Universe for this week has rather come out on beta state, and I was given a code to take part in it and maybe make a video, and I did. Now, Dual Universe, essentially, those that don't know, is essentially a French-made, crowd-funded, subscription-based space game that is based on voxel environment. Those that don't know voxel environment, think of Minecraft, but in more 3D, less cubic environment. Essentially, continuously capable of breaking down the existing environment and digging that up or down or whatnot else. No Man's Sky has the same sort of environment, destruction, as well as construction. Limited, however, unlike again, Dual Universe. There's also a very good comparison that I personally usually make, which honestly is very apt, in my opinion, and that is Space Engineers. Those that know Space Engineers, it's basically that. Dual Universe is that, not as well performing, definitely different pay mechanic, or monetization mechanic, and let's see, I'm not sure when Space Engineers started development, but of course, Nova Quark, the French developers, were so nice to answer a couple of my questions, and they did state that they are around 80 members large in the development team, and they are working on the game since 2014. Essentially, you could say that the same time when No Man's Sky started work, or rather the team on when did they start work on No Man's Sky? I don't remember.
Well, I think 2014 is when it came out, right?
No, it came out in 2016. It was 2 years after Elite Dangerous. I remember. Oh Jesus. Right. No, it might have been around that time, but regardless. So 2014, the give or take the same year when Elite Dangerous came out. Space Engineers 2013. Well, maybe. Well, regardless. The point is that developers have worked on Dual Universe for a while. Interesting thing is, if you go on their Kickstarter, that they say that they wanted to release or deliver the product on 2018, and well, as Star Citizen has probably proved everyone that about the Kickstarter games, that usually doesn't happen. But anyways, so
is it good?
Is it good? Right. That's an interesting loaded soundbite question, right? It's literally loaded up just to get out yes and no and have a published article on it. Oh, yes, it's good. No, it's not. It's the American media type of.
Realistically, all these people listening to us right now, all 26 of them, are listening to us talk about Dual Universe, and ultimately, the question in the back of their heads. Is it good?
Right now?
Yeah.
Not good enough for the price that they're asking for, in my opinion. As I said, they are subscription based. They are in beta. And frankly speaking, even for the, what was it, €7, give or take, I think it was, for the 1 month subscription, I would truly not recommend picking it up. Instead, I would rather pick up Space Engineers, which in my opinion is more finished game, even though it still misses a lot of fucking things. But regardless, Space
All hail
Engineers.
Clang.
Now the thing is, Space Engineers, in my opinion, is still again, it's more playable state. It's a more finished sort of thing, even though it still has a lot of issues. Dual Universe has wonderful features like literal player markets. I love it. It's basically like EVE Online, right? They try to ape EVE Online's markets, and they did it basically to the same level. Also, the character skill upgrades and whatnot else, that sort of a vibe is also felt throughout. So it's more of a combination between EVE and Space Engineers, being a MMO attempt, the land claiming and all that stuff. So it has very interesting mechanics, and those mechanics work, which is nice. However, the performance, which for me is the biggest deal breaker, is just unbearable, because your frame rate is gonna go up and down like a fucking yo-yo, right? Depending, of course, if you move across the terrain or not, and even then it's sort of questionable. So yeah, I would say that definitely good luck to Nova Quark for, to actually make it more stable, more polished, and definitely prettier, because right now it's not looking that great. The mishmash of textures, especially the fucking voxel loading as well for the terrain, it's just not looking that good. And honestly, fine, if you're patient enough, maybe it's for you. But again, you have to still realize that it's a subscription base, and I don't know. Pilot, your thoughts on the subscription base stuff, because I could rant for this forever.
Hard pass.
Hard pass? Why?
The whole point of subscription models was to basically trick you into continually paying for it, even if you weren't playing. That was the whole point of having games as a service or any kind of subscription model. You forget and you keep paying it, and that's how they make lots of money. And look, I get it. You want to show your investors that you have a revenue stream and that you have, recurring revenue every single month, but it's an outdated predatory model at this point. I mean, no, just no. And especially for a beta. No, the audacity. Just make it, if you're gonna put out a beta where anyone can join, an open beta, you don't charge people a subscription to play it. That is it's beyond obscene. No. And for that reason alone, I'm probably not going to touch it.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a predatory thing. However, there's instances where obviously you wouldn't be playing the game or would forget about it, or like with many little interesting subscription or recurring monthly payment systems, you essentially forget to cancel it, or that basically they have a clause in their I don't know, a contract or whatnot else that you have to sign before buying it or signing up for it, that every month it would continue until you turn it off, rather than you're going to be paying for the first month, and then if you want you can pay for the next one, but you have to pay for the months and whatnot else.
The month ahead, yeah.
It wouldn't automatically cancel, which is something that I personally have been once tricked by, and yeah.
Don't you have to buy a pack of months in order to play?
No, I think you didn't. You could actually get a single month. Let's see. Dual Universe. Let's see. Dual Universe. I don't think that you had to actually pick up a pack.
I mean, look, even regardless, here's the sad, scathing indictment on my word here. If it was actually good and entertaining, and it had like a lot going for it, or it had a revolutionary new mechanic that, it was just amazing to play, and they had that subscription model, I might reconsider. But voxel based MMO of, where you can advertise to other players just seems like a recipe for disaster. And putting an open beta behind a paywall like that, a monthly reoccurring paywall.
Okay, so right, I looked it up, just made sure, because for some reason I thought that it had actually 1 month subscription. No, it apparently has the minimum of 3 months subscription package, which is 21 euros, basically in Latvian euro currency with tax. Latvia has 21% fucking value-added tax. Fucking hell. Anyways, so yeah, the payment model in of itself is, frankly speaking, for $20 or $21, honestly, on a sale you can get quite literally Space Engineers, I can guarantee, and maybe some DLCs from them too. So when you have literally two same games, one is MMO and the other one is small server based, and yet more polished and done. As a matter of fact, even right now it's technically released full game. Well, which you're gonna choose to do? I understand. Yes, it had a relatively successful Kickstarter, and they did prove that the concept is interesting enough for folks. The funny thing is, yeah, you can build whatever ship you want, and that is wonderful, truly wonderful. But there are so many ifs coming out, right? What if, no one plays it and it becomes barren game? The markets are not saturated with anything. The guild system is not saturated with anything. There was a wonderful comment under the video that I released about the dual universe as well. What stops players picking up the truly cheapest, cost-effective builds and constantly building them? And just wrecking everyone else. Basically, everyone going for the meta sort of approach because of that build your own spaceship idea. And that was a really nice point there too, because everything would just devolve into these meta builds as we see for every game. And beauty of many games having already pre-built cars, vehicles, whatnot else, or guns, right, is to sort of limit and also manage a balance. However, when you offer a complete freedom, it's a truly impossible task oftentimes to
and you're going to find out that realistically a lot of people think that they're great and creative and everything like that, and they're going to get their ass handed to them by someone who had a pre-built design. There you go.
Yeah. No, the funny thing is, yes, they basically offered the thing that, oh yeah, you built a spaceship and made a blueprint, and you could sell that blueprint to everyone. I like that idea. That promotes creativity. I love the fact that they actually went for that creative aspect. So there are actually genuine good things about it. The principles that they have set in stone for the beta alone are something that Elite and Star Citizen haven't done. Just fucking hell.
Got something on your throat there, buddy?
Oh, a lot. The fact that fucking Dual Universe just decided, well, hey, fuck it, we're gonna, well, quote unquote, copy or pay a homage to EVE Online and add the player markets, add the fucking the talent system, give or take, right? And on top of that, make sure that the game is based for the community, the MMO aspect, and incorporate from get-go a fucking guild system, like a really decent guild system for at least the starters. That is smart.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
So yeah, there are truly those aspects of true gold in the design that I want to see succeed. On the other hand, yeah, as I said, personally, the subscription is just an antiquated method that basically is just there to, well, make as much money as possible out of the long-term players rather than the short-term players, which sucks. Frankly, it really does suck.
I will say this, and so we could all take everything with a bit of a grain of salt. if there were no subscription model and it was microtransaction based, or if it was a timing event, spend money now or it's gone forever base, or alternate currency base, I'd be probably complaining about it just as hard. That, yeah, I mean, I realistically, yeah. Look, any kind.
Oops. God damn it. Fucking Discord. Sorry, guys. Discord restarted. Discord restarted for a second. Carry on.
I was saying is that any kind of model where they're pulling out as much money as you possibly can by tricking your brain into spending it. I'm not a fan anyway. I'm just a little bit more insulted. I'm like, why are you still using a subscription model? That's gone with the way of the World of Warcraft there. I mean, why would you...
I did ask that question and still haven't gotten an answer. Let's see. Not yet. Yes, but there's one answer. It probably
looks good on it. Yep. It looks good on an annual report. It looks good for investors. That's what I'm going with.
Yep.
Because microtransactions can swarm and swell and fall with the tides.
Yep. Another couple of interesting things that I wish I had the time to include in a video that I did. But regardless, fuck it. The game runs actually on Unigine 2 engine, which is very interesting because those that know the Unigine engine, it's basically a benchmark engine, or rather, well, it was created with a benchmark, right? And it's made by the Unigine guys, generally speaking, for the Unigine Heaven, Valley, and Superposition fame, at least for myself as a PC Master Race, gamer person. That's what I know them for. So I didn't really know that there were actually any proper games with the Unigine engine. I knew that they sold it, but I didn't know that anyone actually worked on it. So here we go. We actually have a game with that. Right, a release. So I did ask about the release, and they are planning a release for 2021. So hey, they're ahead of fucking Star Citizen anyways. I mean, they already went into beta anyways, but the fact that they actually plan for a release, well, we'll see how that goes, however. There was another interesting thing. Right, so I asked them, what will be the monetization method for the game on launch? So the answer there was a monetization model, in-game purchases where players can purchase items of interest. It's not fully worked out yet, but what it will not be is pay to win. I honestly don't know what to derive from that sentence. Is that implying cosmetics, or is it not implying cosmetics? Maybe it's an issue with English to French or something, but if it is cosmetics on top of a fucking subscription base, then fuck right off. There you go. That's basically my statement there.
All right. So, I think we've stalled long enough. I think we got to talk about it.
Talk about what?
The new RTX30 series from NVIDIA. And I called it the other week when I turned around and said there's going to be a $500 base model that's going to outperform everything else. And it's going to be amazing. And I was right.
Well, there you go. Those that don't know, this week... let's see what I don't remember which day it was, but yeah, this week basically Jensen came out with a wonderful video showcasing, or talking rather about the new series RTX cards from NVIDIA, and I did talk about this a little bit in my previous streams this week, but regardless. Basically, the pricing of the graphics cards gonna be lower, and the funny thing is, right now, I recommend you go on, I don't know, eBay or your local similar sort of, used hardware sort of, I don't know, Craigslist or something like that, right? And check the prices, or if anyone's selling any 2080s, 2070s, any 2080 Ti's, and what the prices are, because the graphics card that I have, right, the 2080 Ti, which I don't remember how much I paid for it properly, but basically over $1,000, right, for the graphics card, like a year ago, give or take. Now everyone is selling for basically less than a half. Usually in the used market, you get about a half. A half price is a pretty decent price for a used graphics card, no matter which it is. Well, there are differences on the super low end, but on the high end, it's usually half price, unless it's very barely used or, quote unquote, fresh. So, yeah. However, I don't feel cheated or anything like that. I'll keep using my 2080 Ti. I have no problem. I'll use this horse ripper for a while and until the day that I need to exchange it. I think the 4000 or whatever series graphics cards will be out and other CPUs too. So,
yeah, I would very much like to be the mature adult in the room who's saying, yeah, of course not. Why would I be offended at NVIDIA for releasing a cheap, economical card that would outperform everything in the market? And I'm grateful that a company has made such a smart move. I can't. I recently was forced to upgrade my video card and I had to get a 2080 and I paid so much money for it and I'm pissed and no, I'm angry. Life has just bit me in the ass one more time and I'm not even going to pretend to not be upset. Like, you sons of bitches. No.
Oh no! So
I'm bitter.
basically,
I'm angry and bitter.
You got 2080 Ti, or wait, no, you got the 2080
Super, yeah,
right? And its replacement will cost how much?
Cheaper, yeah. It's the $500 30 series card is the equivalent of two 2080 Ti's in performance. The card that I bought, the 2080 Super, which is less than the Ti, cost me $700. I am just bitter all around.
Hey, how do you feel? I felt when I realized that the next generation of Ryzen CPUs actually outperformed the fuck of my Threadripper.
That's your own fault for buying AMD.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. I still like AMD a lot for at least the little things that they do, but yeah. What can I say? It's an interesting time indeed. Basically, a lot of people been asking basically why Nvidia decided, instead of just replacing the existing 20,000 series with the 3000 series, but just with a slight up mark in price where the performance is extra, right? Like they did with 20 series. And someone pointed out, Linus Tech Tips actually, they pointed out that it might have been to do with the fact that 20,000 series sales were quote unquote disappointing, and thus they decided to to increase the sales, increase the performance, and drop the prices so that everyone buys it. And
yeah, exactly. I mean, look, I've realized something over the last week or so, is that I think we're at the point in society where we're developing technology specifically built to gimp other technology so that we can stretch everything out just a little bit more and make just a little bit more money. Or the companies can make a little bit more money. Well, I mean, ISPs are always the greatest example of this.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Don't get me started on those fucking
exactly.
Especially the fucking telecommunication assholes. Like, the fuck... the damn...
calm.
No, I mean, the fucking mobile internet, right? I get it, it's not fast or what it does, but the fact that they are gouging us quite literally for literal megabytes... And that costing you
outrageous
euros. Like, what the hell? No.
Exactly. Right. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the United States paid telecom companies quite a lot of money to rig the entire country with fiber optic cable and expecting expansion of fiber internet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the companies took that money, started the work in some areas, and then just stopped. And when the government said, "What are you doing? It's too expensive to actually lay the cable, and we can't justify the price of the money that you've given us to do it, so we're just not going to." well, give us back the money. And they said, no, make us. And that's, yeah. So literally throughout the United States, there are thousands of lines of fiber optic cable running under city streets everywhere that are never going to be turned on at all,
Sounds
ever.
fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Here's the thing,
baby.
unused. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing is that we are definitely in this set of society where we're making technology to intentionally gimp other technology so that it lasts longer. And it has to be used longer so that companies can make money. And inevitably, at some point, your experimental group makes something that's so good, you literally just can't gimp it. And I think that's what this is. I think the 30 series is just a leap forward so hard that you can't incrementally put out a card that's slightly better than the last one. I think you had to make a leap. And I'm glad that they did it, and I'm glad that it's $500. And I'm glad that they didn't try to, stretch it out a little bit more. It's something,
basically
it's not a lot.
pull an Intel, huh?
Yeah, like pulling Intel, like intentionally limit the chipsets,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. You can't unlock them yourself, it just voids the warranty. Who the hell cares?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, I don't know. At least here in Latvia, right, and of course Estonia, Lithuania as well, and basically at least here in educated Europe. No, but seriously though, our ISPs, basically every single, at least here in Latvia, I can definitely vouch for that. The companies, well, they are relatively small ones, and they offer basically as much speed as possible for very cheap. For example, the other day I got a flyer, the ad flyer in my post box thingamajig, that antiquated thing, right? Advertising symmetric gig speeds for 10 euros, which is first of all faster than my current thing, and also cheaper by about 50% or more. So yeah, which is quite interesting. At least here, at least in Latvia, right, the internet speeds when it comes to ISPs, that just continuously keeps increasing, and then basically optics everywhere, mostly because of the stiff competition that we have. Well, that and a few other
You're lucky.
things as well. So yeah, that is kind of
You're very
lucky,
lucky.
frankly speaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess everyone should take an example from Latvia. I guess, yes, I agree with that.
Nice plug. There you go.
Oh yes.
Very, very subtle, very seamless.
Yes. Actually, on other news, this week also Intel did release their keynote announcing, well, not the new CPUs generally speaking, but only the CPUs for mobile workstations. And the funny thing is, as Gamers Nexus actually pointed out, that basically they themselves can't pronounce the fucking 11th generation chip names. It's like 11,875G. You're not gonna fucking remember it, and it's just horrifying naming scheme. And of course, yeah, unlike Nvidia, which keynote essentially they referred to only themselves throughout the whole stream, never mentioning their competition at all. Intel, on the other hand, as Gamers Nexus points out, basically referred to their competition about 27 times, and few derivatives as well, here and there. So that was kind of stark difference. But then again, hey, AMD is no better either. They just keep tossing jabs at each other at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, realistically, yeah. Actually, one last thing about the RTX, the 30 series. I mean, it just completely blew the consoles out of the water, didn't it? It really did. I cannot
always
think of a reason.
I mean, even the current 20,000 series graphics cards would be still way better than the consoles. Because realistically, I calculated, and many other people calculated, that the performance that is on board for the new consoles is basically gonna be around the performance of GTX 1050, I think
Oh,
on PS5, and GTX 1060 or 1660, give or take, I think, on the Xbox version because it's slightly more powerful. But those are estimates. Let's be safe and say maybe 1070 and or I don't know 2060 at best, right? Even that.
hear me out. I don't understand why Microsoft or Sony doesn't get into the business of basically making high-end PCs that aren't called PCs. I mean, consoles are basically PCs
They are.
that
At this
aren't
point, they are completely PCs, just simply with an extra chip on the motherboard, limiting its
right.
capability.
Why not just embrace the whole other culture of basically making pre-made high-end PCs? Why
Answer
not
to
just
that.
do that?
Answer to that is the so-called walled garden approach and exclusivity.
You
Like
can
it or
still
not,
do that with a
no,
PC, with a
like it or not,
PC.
that's where money comes from the fact that you have exclusive titles on your walled garden.
You could still do that software-wise, though, is what I'm saying.
People would easily, again, software-wise, you take out a fucking hard drive, pop in a new one, except for fucking Apple crap. But regardless, you pop
I mean,
in
you can do
new
that
hard
now.
drive and run the same hardware and software, or rather, with a different software, right? So there would
Well,
be the so-called jailbreaking or whatever other methods to getting around that, and
okay. This is what I was talking about before. The let's drag out technology to try to, get more money out of it. Consoles are just worse PCs. Why not just build high-end modern PCs at mass and put a single ASIC chip in there to lock it down? Software to lock down, put up your walled garden if you really must. I don't think you should, but if you really wanted to keep exclusivity, you could do that. And if you try to change out the hard drive or change out the chip, then the whole thing frags itself. That's what Xbox has been doing for a long time. It's what Sony's been doing for a long time. It's not like they don't know how. They could build high-end modern stuff and sell it in mass. It's very possible. Why are you 3 generations behind?
in hard drive, or rather memory storage wise, they are about 10 years because only now they are finally catching up to SSDs, which PC Master Race had about 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about video cards, operating RAM,
gotcha.
etc. I mean, realistically, why? Why would you just purposely make them spend $600, $700, whatever, on something that's objectively worse when it should be much easier to bring your exclusive software titles to something that'll run it better? Why?
I don't know. I'm too PC Master Race to understand that peasantry. There you go. That's my comment for you folks.
I don't know. Look, jokes aside, there has to be a good reason, and
there is
cannot
that.
figure it out.
As I said, the walled garden approach, that's one of the things. The other thing is obviously cheaper hardware, essentially more lockdown hardware that allows them to sort of produce, or rather mass produce it, so at a lower cost, blah, 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 blah. Basically, there are little things that truly make it worth it, and, well, lo and behold, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Well, I suppose. Intel-wise, as I said, that was just the new mobile chip announcements, which was just mostly Intel sort of doing a dumb sort of moment, showcasing their just horrible marketing and not very nice approach to competition, or sort of a thing. But hey, AMD is not guiltless, I suppose, either. So
Yeah.
it was just a fun thing to watch, and I do recommend going and taking a look at the general overview from Gamers Nexus. It's it's pretty funny, or mildly humorous, if you will. Right. Well, I suppose we have, give or take, one more good story left. So yeah, let's return to Doom Eternal. Ha ha ha. So, if you are like me and you're waiting for the DLC, the continuation of the Doomslayer's adventures in the modern day Earth, essentially enjoying living in it, the DLC, the what is it? Ancient Gods, Part 1. Jesus fucking Christ, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Part 1 thing. It's like Part 1, Part 2, and there's no Part 3, right? Regardless, that thing will apparently be a standalone game. You would be able to launch it without the need of the previous game, or the main game, the Doom Eternal itself. And I found that truly interesting. As they called it, expandalone. They called it expandalone, which is the fucking stupidest conjugation of the fucking words. But regardless, English, right? But yeah, the fact that it would be a go and play on its own, like Half-Life Episode 1 or 2, or Lost Coast or what else. Honestly, I never thought that I would see that sort of approach to expansion or DLC ever again. But here we are. So, interesting side note, though, I'm not sure which was the particular deciding factor into why they should make it in such a way. Was it Bethesda or was it id? Frankly speaking, it looks like a horrible monetary practice with the season pass and what else, so I'm betting more on Bethesda. However, you never know. Maybe it drank a stupid and forgetful juice again. But regardless, that's at least all we know for the next upcoming DLC for that. So I'm looking forward to it. Regardless, as long as it's good, I'm willing to pay, as I've said.
I have nothing to contribute on this topic. I'm waiting for you to get that last thing at the bottom so I can yell at you for it.
Okie dokie. Well, I honestly thought that, well, fuck it, might as well end here. But okay, so those of you that follow the Space Race news a little bit more, you watch it every week or as a replay, or recording. We have mentioned a couple of TV shows in the past and animation and talked about that stuff in greater or smaller detail. And one of the things that obviously, having talked about Expanse and sci-fi stuff and so on and so forth, has been the new Star Trek adventure in animated form, the Lower Decks animation. And frankly, after taking a look at it, at least the first 5 episodes that have come out.
TheYamiks, the time traveler confirmed.
Sure, why not? Let's go with that.
First 5 seasons.
The first 5 seasons, there we go. Very seasonal stuff there. But no, overall, animation-wise, visually, it's nice, as you would expect from basically the creators or animators or the whole team. I'm not sure how much of the whole team from the Final Space transitioned to that, but regardless. It's basically Final Space, but with Star Trek dressing, and it's not bad. Adventures overall, in my opinion, pretty decent as a sort of a round-the-go romp, if you will. Just fun little stories, I guess, with, well, at least currently not seemingly any overarching general story. Or arc, if you will.
I'm gonna have to cut you off right here for just 1 second.
Go for it.
Just to clarify, and I am guilty of this too. Olin Rogers of Final Space has nothing to do with Lower Decks.
No,
even though the animation is very, very similar, so is the writing.
And
I know.
Writing feels the same.
I totally get it. I was guilty of it too. I thought basically they poached him from Final Space to make this. I was wrong. He basically posted on Twitter. He says, I have zero involvement with that show. And he's working on Final Space Season 3.
Okay, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
No,
I am guilty too.
I mean, it's actually, now that's an interesting thing. And of course, this is the case where, in America, right, you have a couple of relative schools, if you will, or universities where you can go and properly get taught animation. That generally learning how to make animation and drawing and all that stuff. And basically, the big names, or rather the graduates that come out of there basically are taught the same style of drawing, and you can see the same style of drawing in many cartoons in a little bit while back, as well as right now, as you can see with the Final Space and the Lower Decks. Previously, before that, there was a wave of very similar looking animations like the Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, and Star versus the Forces of Evil. All three of them. Not exactly with the Steven Universe, but they all shared very common, very similar art styles and also drawing techniques, if you will. Again, I'm not much of an artist myself, so I can't much comment on specifics there, but you can even visually see very little details or bigger, smaller details that are very similar. And obviously, you start to read about animators as well as the writers and so on and so forth. And some of them actually were actually colleagues or just classmates.
I wish they I wish that Infinity Train would have gotten picked up. That one looked neat. But I do like that there's a call for it in Adventure Time. I thought that was cool too. But what I really wanted to talk about with Lower Decks specifically is it's just a little too irreverent and ADD. I mean, really? Yeah. Is this your bag? You really enjoy this?
The thing is, animation wise, it's decent, right? For the normal, well, it is very quick, though it does take moments to. It's predictable, yeah. Actually, quite a bit, frankly speaking. It's a simple cartoon, right? Which is something, frankly speaking, from the modern Star Trek is honestly not the thing with kind of what you could expect. Back in the day, from Star Trek, you would expect way, way, way more quality storytelling, for sure. But right now, well, I mean, it is better than the current iterations of whatever Star Trek Discovery
Go ahead
was
and
Picard and blah, blah, blah,
I'm sorry. Nonsense. Look, did you watch Discovery? Very
minimally.
Okay, there's an episode
tuned off on the first couple of things, so just...
There's an episode with the guy who plays Dwight Schrute. Can't remember his name. It's Rainn Wilson. He plays there's a couple of them actually, but he actually plays a bad guy in a couple episodes, and in one of them, he actually finds basically a Groundhog Day device where he can loop the same day over and over and over and over and over again. And I thought that was a great take on that whole on the Groundhog Day premise that's used everywhere. They did a really good job, because the whole point of view of the story doesn't take place from the guy who's doing it or stuck in it. It takes place from from an outsider's perspective who gradually figures it out. That was really well done, and it was a great episode. Moreover, that episode was so good that they actually grabbed the character to go put him in the Star Trek Online game, and a lot of his stuff. Come on, that's actually good. And if you haven't watched it, you really should. Discovery gets a lot of shit and a lot of hate, but it's not a bad show. It really isn't. Give it a shot. That's all I'm gonna say.
The Groundhog Day, right? That trope, oh my god, I've seen it in every single iteration of us sci-fi. Oh wait, no, Expanse probably it doesn't have it yet, but once it's over the hill, it will have, trust me. But regardless, basically, I still try to remember basically every episode, or rather episode similar to the Groundhog Day, to every sci-fi sort of show that I know of.
Yeah, Stargate did it.
Stargate did it, and it's one of the best fucking episodes in
I love that episode.
entire. It's wonderful.
When he's golfing through the gate.
Yeah, that's just right. But yeah, but basically there's that. There's in Star Trek Next Generation a Deja. Oh wait, no, yeah, no, it wasn't the
There's
Deja
three
Q. It was.
episodes. No, there's 3 episodes in Next Generation that do
Oh
that whole
God, was
groundhog.
it?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, fucking hell. Well, regardless, obviously it's a very common, fun little, easy
trope.
trope to basically utilize, and it's honestly it's. Now that I think of it, I don't think there has been a time that it's been wrote really terribly. And there haven't been the greatest executions oftentimes, but generally speaking, they are always just fun, enjoyable, sort of, well, consequence-less sort of episodes where you can just indulge into your whatever wildest, stupidest stories. And everyone enjoys it as a sort of a I don't know, disconnect from the constant barrage of fucking effects and nonsense.
Okay. Do you know the Manchurian Candidate trope?
Oh gods, no. What that would
That's
be?
where a guy's a spy. That's when the guy is a spy and he doesn't know he's a spy.
Oh, right, gotcha. Right, yeah.
Right. There's an arc in season 1 or 2, I forget it, where one of the characters finds out that, when spoilers, by the way, spoilers.
Oh, I care so much right now.
Well, no, it's not for you. Look, realistically,
Fair
one of the characters figures out that they're a spy from a wholly different species, and they've gone through this horrible, horrible surgery to look like.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
And I mean, that's done really well. Did you ever expect to see that in Star Trek?
That concept sounded and looked so stupid. I just could not take it seriously in the fucking universe of Star Trek. But anyways, I'm not the biggest fan of Star Trek, but Jesus fucking Christ.
You enjoy Lower Decks, though? Come on.
Lower Decks is literally a fucking
hacky.
cartoon. Okay, for cartoons, you give a certain amount of disbelief, onto it. It's cartoons in of itself come always with a different sort of set and believability. That's the beauty of cartoons, right?
Do you think Final Space is hacky?
Oh, very.
Really?
Very. Man, it just uses some really stupid plot points. But the funny thing is, Final Space is a fun cartoon, generally speaking, because it's wacky, because it's so outlandish, and the solutions often are so stupid, right?
Oh no, I disagree. I think they go wacky and fun, and then all of a sudden it's a horrible dark turn.
Oh,
and something
horrible dark tones always exist, and undertones and what else. Yes, in many cartoons, many writers insert subliminal or obvious things. Yes, and sure, once you actually set the tone correctly, it can work perfectly.
Well, that's my point, though. That's my point, is that, in Final Space, we're joking around and having fun, even though the world is terrible. And then something terrible actually happens, and they deal with it, and they move on. And that's canon now. And for the rest of the series, he has a fake arm. And I don't see that kind of attention to detail in something like Lower Decks. I just don't. No, I'm not saying it can't be good because of it.
It's questionable as to what Lower Decks is supposed to be. Because again, in the first 5 episodes, all I've seen is just random little one-off stories. And if that is the cartoon, basically like most other cartoons on back in the day, where basically just you didn't need to watch the whole series in order to enjoy whatever was on TV.
I was just about to say, we haven't had a cartoon that's just been one-off for a very long time, actually.
Dude, we've got plenty of that. We constantly have that. It's rare. Well, I wouldn't say.
Wait,
it can't be exactly the rare thing, but it's less rare these days. However, it's in a minority still to have a overarching season-long arcs that continue from the previous episodes.
Okay, name me a modern cartoon show that doesn't have an overarching arc.
Let's see, modern one. Well, let's go with the Teen Titans Go. That would be the most popular one. They don't really have the overarching. Sometimes they do, but it doesn't connect with the whole season.
If
I
there's
don't think so.
if there's an arc in I'll give it to you, because if there's an arc in Teen Titans Go, they do it over a five episode special over a
Yeah,
week.
it's basically just pick and choose like 5 episodes within the like what is it 24 season series episode series, there you go, or something like that.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks then here. Realistically, is there a cartoon aimed at us in our age demographic that doesn't have an arc? Because those cartoons are not for us. Teen Titans Go is not
The
for
adult
us. Unless we're
adult
smoking a
sort of
lot of weed.
centered animated stuff, yeah, sure. Those again, yeah, the funny thing is, right, I actually tend to segregate animation in basically 4 age groups, and basically only one of them is really good. The funny thing is, it's not our age group.
Oh,
So here's
ouch.
the thing. The way I segregate the sort of age grouping in an animation is the toddlers, and the until like 2 years old,
Like
or
a
something
Peppa
like that.
Pig
Basically,
thing. Yeah, okay.
basically that basically crap that is shoved on screen to have quote unquote educational shit, but it's basically just there to distract the kid, not to yell constantly, and so to let parents
Shoveled CG animation. Yeah,
basically
I get it,
crap. Yeah, YouTube's filled with that garbage. Okay,
Yeah.
that's one, right? So that's absolute trash and means nothing. I don't even think that there's a single good thing. Back in the day, maybe Bob the Builder was interesting, and a few more things.
Don't go too
maybe
deep
Dora,
into it. It's bad.
maybe Dora, but
Don't go too deep. Let's just go.
Anyways,
What next?
After that, there's the age of kids that basically are taught moral lessons. To perceive everyone equally, to the height or your body type or what else is not
Give us an
mattering. Avatar.
Okay.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, basically that would be
Made for
one of
kids.
them. Teen Titans original, yeah, the Teen Titans original. Oh God, Gravity Falls is a good one, though. That one is Gravity Falls is a good one. In recent years, that has been the most popular one in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, carrying on. So basically, that's the sort of age range of kids that essentially are starting to learn what the life is and how to perceive each other. What are the good things to keep in mind? Sort of teaching kids important things, and us as adults as well, right? Then comes the absolute vapid garbage piece of shit that is called teen animation. It's all about fucking high school and vapid garbage. There are maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, but mostly it's all about the just daily life at school nonsense, so that teens can identify with the characters or whatnot else. It's trash. It's pure fucking real TV trash level of shit.
You don't think you might be a little biased because you grew up watching a certain set of shows that and I'm guilty of this too. I mean, I'll say that the original Teen Titans animation was great and wonderful because I grew up watching it.
Though
and
I
think
wouldn't call Teen Titans the teen demographic side of things, which is kind of interesting or counterintuitive in some ways. It has the teen, sure, but
I smell justification.
Yeah. But no, okay. Yeah. Again, as I said, there are exceptions and so on and so forth. So yeah. Oh God. Right. My personal favorite from back in the day was actually Kim Possible, right? And as I recently rewatched it,
I would argue that's a teen show.
It is a teen show, exactly. That's what I say. My memories are that it had messages and it had more than just high school nonsense, and the high school was just a background, right? And as I rewatched it episode by episode, right, the whole show in like last year or so, I realized that oh my God, even that good example from my memory was basically most of the time, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions in like 1 or 2 seasons, just a vapid shit. I mean, better animated and more interestingly animated, but still vapid shit most of the time.
I'm going to deviate from our conversation to mention just a couple different things. One, the voice of Kim Possible is a actress by the name of Christy Carlson Romano, and that's interesting and noteworthy for me because A, I went to school with her, and B, her mom was one of my teachers. And I always thought that was interesting. Anyway, she has her own YouTube channel where she cooks things and occasionally invites Will Friedle over, or the voice of Unstoppable Will Friedle, to come over and cook something. And I like that too. But that's where Kim Possible is right now. YouTube cooking show.
Huh.
Just so you.
Well, there.
Yeah.
Neat.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, and the final demographic, right? In my, four-pronged thingamajig was us. The adult section of animation, and that is filled with everything. Like,
yeah, that's a bit all-encompassing.
Yeah, it's basically just anything and everything, right? Obviously, because you are unrestricted by the age range, you can literally make either the most vapid stoner level piece of shit, like a 12-ounce mouse, and oh my god, I just no. Or you can make something truly incredible, like Ghost in a Shell, right? And it ranges from that absolute treasure to just absolute trash, and it's weird. But
why does everyone love Ghost in the Shell? It's not that great.
See, it again, yeah, okay. Right now, when you look at the whole spectrum of sci-fi genres and what else, specifically sci-fi, because it was one of the more influential portions on that side. But Ghost in the Shell, you see, was unique as there was nothing literally around like it. Again, just like Akira, right? Back in the day.
I have the same problem with Akira. I was about to mention it myself.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Akira.
The thing is, I recently rewatched it as well, right? For the first time. And I'm like,
it's a garbled mess.
Animation is wonderful. For that day and age, it was absolutely stunning, right? However, you're right. The story is a mess. Today, as you look at the Akira, in my opinion, yeah, the story felt like a mess. Yes, I could follow it. Sure. It's not like, some unique...
How much have you drunk?
Yeah, but no, the point is, Akira, at least visually, was truly beautiful, but characters, stories, for the modern sensibility, just didn't quite hold up on that level. However, from that time and the age that it came from, you can appreciate it for what it was.
I never like that excuse. It's the same reason people tell me they like Avatar, the movie, James Cameron's Avatar.
Jesus.
They're like, oh, it's the greatest movie of all time. I'm like, no, it is interesting from its CG point of view, but otherwise, it's just fucking Pocahontas.
There's nothing. It's Dancing with Wolves, mate.
Which is also Pocahontas. Exactly. It's not a very good story. In fact, it's kind of bad. You love this movie because it looks good. Okay,
no, the story for it was passable. I can tell you the story for it is passable. Visuals are stunning, but other than that, the value is yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's. I don't like it when people are like they champion these things because, oh, it looks a visual stunning, roller coaster. No, the rest of it is garbage. Yeah. You need to respond to that. You need to at least acknowledge it. Like if it's your favorite movie because, he used new CGI cameras or something like that, fine. But don't turn around and say it's the greatest freaking movie of all time. No. Ridiculous nonsense.
All right. Well, looks like we're 20 minutes over the usual limit as we basically just chat about,
yeah, I'm going to give Lower Decks another shot, but I got no promises for you.
For me, that's basically just yet another decently animated, decently voice acted, and also the adventures are okay-ish. Sometimes something is fun because you don't usually see Star Trek in that sort of environment, in that stupid cartoony environment, except for oh gosh, there was this old Star Trek animation, right? That original series thing.
I remember.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, I forgot about that. Well, regardless.
There was a Stargate one too.
Oh my God, I have to say it now.
Don't watch it.
No.
Do not watch it.
Oh no, I have to now. Jesus, no. Anyways, I guess that'll be it for this evening. As we wrap up the Space Waste News, your weekly waste of space news broadcast. There you go, folks. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyway,
have a good weekend.
Yeah, right. For the ending portion. Oh, and we have a notification. Right, so might as well just go and say thanks to the contributors during the stream. For the duration of Space-Based News, I always mute the notifications because, again, this is a slightly different format. So big thanks to Verustin for being so generous today. I really appreciate it. So yeah, and looks like that's all on the generous bits that I need to shout out, or have to even shout out. So, yeah, well, I guess tune in next week if you want to. And what else? Go check out other iterations of the Space Race News available on YouTube's public playlist. On the other side, of course, do check out Pilot's stuff as he streams sometimes and he makes videos sometimes.
I do. It's true. It's sometimes.
Look up his name. It's just as easy as mine, so you should be able to find his stuff quite quickly. Right. I suppose that's about it for this evening. Stay safe. Enjoy the weekend. And, if I stream tomorrow, I stream tomorrow. If I don't, I don't. Till then, take care. Till next time.
Bye, everyone.